What's up, everybody? My name is Steven, and this is
Evan.
And we're here because I feel very old today.
Haha.
And Evan does not feel old.
Uh-huh.
Because today is the 30th birthday of the Nintendo Game Boy. Jenna, do you feel old?
Yes.
Jenna feels really old, too.
Megan, stop Doritos.
So, what is it? Can you go get that boot out of the hallway while I start this?
No.
Because there's a boot hanging out of our hallway, and it's really weird. So, I thought it would be... Did you just yeet that boot into the hallway?
Go away.
He totally did. He just yeeted...
Talk.
Alright. He just yeeted that boot into the hallway. We're going to have to... Your mom's looking at us. We're going to have to clean that up later. So, it's the 30th birthday of the Game Boy. And do you even know what a Game Boy looks like?
Open up the Wikipedia page.
I mean, we do have a Wikipedia page.
Also, I know what a Game Boy looks like.
Also, you do know what a Game Boy looks like. I mean, how... So, I thought that it would be kind of neat to do a video, and I'd love to hear from you guys. What is a favorite Game Boy memory? I'm going to have mine. But before I do that, let's talk a little bit about the history of what the Game Boy was and really what it started. Because you guys have spent a whole lot of time messing around with the DS and now with the Switch. The success of the Game Boy really forced Nintendo into kind of doing two things, right? They kept making home consoles and they kept making handheld consoles, and now...
But now they're the same.
But now because they merged those two markets, and as a result, we've had so many good games. Jeff has something, we'll go into that when we talk about some of the memories, but, so, long and short, the Game Boy, was manufactured by Nintendo, obviously. It released April 21st, 1989 in Japan, followed by a release in the United States 3 months later.
Mm-hmm.
So technically today is the anniversary of the Japanese release, but...
Well, that's the release. Because Japan is Japan. Japan is where the Nintendo is.
Yes. So, yes, and Konnichiwa and all that. So, excuse me, technically, one thing that is worth mentioning is that it's not actually the first handheld game console that Nintendo made.
Game & Watch.
The first one they made was the Game & Watch, which was a lot less, functional. You're fidgeting. So the Game & Watch was more or less like a pretty advanced, like one of those Tiger toys, that was a single screen. Didn't really do a lot. The Game Boy was truly a console. So, it was, and really, it blew up. I think the biggest reason it blew up, and maybe this is me, is because of Pokemon. I think it's really impossible to talk about the success of the Game Boy without talking about Pokemon.
Pokemon, Game Boy, same difference.
Right. I mean, I think most...
Wasn't one of the first games on, the Game Boy Color Pokemon Pikachu?
Remember, Pokemon Pikachu, that was the Game Boy Color.
Yeah, but wasn't it, the reason they made the Game Boy Color?
I don't know. I really don't know that. Excuse me. Let's see here. Yeah, Todd's talking about, referring to the DS as a Game Boy. That's what's so interesting about it is it's weird. I don't know why they haven't brought the Game Boy name back. I think the Game Boy name is just it has so much cachet. It's interesting that they haven't created a new handheld or maybe like a Game Boy Classic or something, just because I think the Game Boy itself really does hold a special place. At launch, you either bought the Game Boy. This was interesting because you could buy it without a game, but most often you bought it bundled with either Super Mario Land or with Tetris. and I think Tetris is the other game. Yeah, I know. You know that song.
I can play it on piano.
Yeah, I know you can. But we're not doing that today. So the Tetris, I think that's another one of those games that you can't really think about the Game Boy without thinking about Tetris. Just because that game was such a big deal. Honestly, I think I played more Pokemon, or no, not Pokemon. I think I played more Game Boy Tetris than I did any other game on that system. And I played a lot of games, but I really think that Tetris was the one. And I still play Tetris whenever I can. Just going into the chat and looking at some of the memories. We'll just go one at a time, and then I'll share my own. Jeff, our boy, the EFG community manager, says that he liked playing it in car rides and switching back and forth with his brother. How do you think you would feel if you were in a car ride, you had one Game Boy, and you and Jake had to switch back and forth? You think that would have worked okay?
But
No.
Tetris is the only thing that would
Definitely
work.
not, Dad.
Jake says no.
Jake says no.
I say no.
Off camera, but I'm still answering.
All right. Well, you
I say
might have had to
RPG.
manage. You would have had to manage.
But then I wouldn't be able to play RPGs.
It's true, and there were a bunch of those. I found a list on Polygon of some of the 30 best, literally the 30 best games, and I figured we'd go through that in a minute. So let's go through some of the more memories. Todd says Galaga on the way to school every day. Excuse me, I was not allowed to bring my Game Boy to school. Todd was lucky. Then Pokemon came out and everything was different forever. I think that statement, the Pokemon came out and everything was different forever, I think that's probably true, not just about the Game Boy. I think the world was different as soon as Pokemon came out, but that's probably a story for another day. And yeah, he said his son gets annoyed when he refers to his DS as a Game Boy. I mean, yeah, I don't necessarily even disagree with you there, man.
Old people call my 3DS a Game Boy, and I don't like that.
Old people?
Old people? You mean like me and your mom?
No, you guys don't call it a Game Boy because you guys know what it is. But like old people at church when I'm playing my DS, when they call it a Game Boy, I really get frustrated.
I mean,
Grandpa wants to call my DS a Game Boy.
Or when they call it a Nintendo.
I mean,
That's even worse. When they call it a Nintendo.
yeah, I mean, listen, I've had it. They could be calling it way worse things than that. Nicole Tanner, host of Geeky Thrones Girl. She is clearly just figuring out a way to spend her day before the next Game of Thrones episode tonight. She's going to have a ton of work to do. But she is watching our video. She says Tetris is her favorite memory.
Tetris.
I agree with her. Tetris is amazing. Jenna, is off in the corner over that way, talking about she didn't have one. Her friend Megan did, our daughter's namesake. And Jenna remembers playing Tetris on it. I think everybody's played Tetris. At this point, I think most people have played Tetris on a Game Boy.
I haven't.
Hey, Megan.
Uh-oh.
I
Are you
haven't.
here? Are you wearing jammies?
Go away.
Then why are you on my video wearing jammies? Go sit down. All right, so we're winding down April vacation, so don't mind us. So let's see, Miranda. Let's see here. On the way to and from Dad's, trying to play by the streetlights. Yeah. So how about this? The Game Boy was not backlit, so that meant that if you were in the dark, you couldn't really play it
But why didn't you just put on a headlamp?
because it was more complicated than that.
If you put on a headlamp.
It was more complicated than that. Also, headlamps weren't really a thing back then.
What if you held a flashlight
Yeah.
in your mouth?
Yeah, so easy. Anyway, so what you would do is you would try and stay in the streetlights. It was a very challenging experience.
But what if you were like in the woods and there were no
Then you weren't playing Game
Then you
Boy.
weren't playing Game Boy, you were sleeping.
So Todd giving some more background. Pokemon Yellow was the reason he switched from a Game Boy to a Pocket to a Game Boy Color. I mean, I get that. Apparently, so Jeff is saying that he would play Tetris with his brother using the link cable, which was a big deal. And Jeff used to play it at recess with a bunch of friends. When it got really cold, the green screens actually turned brown. I did not know that. You are from a cold place, so I think he's from Michigan, so it gets cold there. So, let's see here. Yeah, Nicole laughs at you. She's like, headlamps. Back then, they didn't have LED lights. Like, we didn't have LED lights. If you wanted to wear a headlamp, you were like...
miner's cap.
It was like a miner's cap. Like, the idea of like a headlamp now with like a little LED light, you crazy.
Why not wear a miner's hat and play Pokemon?
Because then you would look like a crazy person.
But then you could play Pokemon. I would look like a crazy person to play Pokemon.
I would wear a clown's outfit if I was able to get a shiny Pikachu.
Yeah, so...
Half the time in the backseat of a car, you were too worried about sliding around because they didn't have seatbelts.
Yeah, Evan's problem solving is the worst. Because you really just don't understand. You just don't understand. So, we got Chris Chipman coming in. Gremlins 2. Okay, that's a deep cut, sir. I don't know that I have ever played Gremlins 2. I don't know that I ever remember playing any of the Gremlins games on NES, let alone on Game Boy. Did you get to use the paperclip bow and arrow? That's the real question. Because if you got to take the little rabbit ear paperclip and turn it into a bow and arrow in that game, then I'm all for it. I'm not even joking. That happened in one of the Gremlins movies. Do you even know what the Gremlins are?
Mom, we watched it once. Jacob was scared. He thought it was a horror movie.
You know what? It kind of was booked as that. It's supposed to be a little scary. Did you watch it?
I scared the crap out of all three of them. They thought, it's like, Mom, this movie's awful. They're smoking and drinking and swearing and blending gremlins in a blender. They were terrified.
I was not terrified.
To be fair, blending the gremlins in the blender was a little gross. So my story ultimately comes down to two things. I mean, the first one, my parents got me and Michael, the infinite co-host, our own Game Boys with Tetris and the link cables, and he and I battled so fiercely.
Jacob's trash at Tetris. I could never do that because I just win.
5 minutes earlier bedtime because you just said that someone was trash. I have video evidence that you did it.
But like
we're trying to train him not to use the word trash when referring to other human beings because it is disrespectful.
You're trash.
Be quiet.
So
how about Jacob? Can you punch Jacob? He just called me bad words.
Okay, stop. He didn't call you bad words.
He called me the same word I called him.
Well, you're on video. So the infinite co-host Michael and I had Game Boys. And, man, we played so much. But the biggest issue we ran into is, man, batteries were expensive.
They were?
Yeah, because the Game Boy, you had to put in 4 AA batteries. It didn't have, like, a plug. You couldn't, like, charge it. So you had to put batteries in it. In fact, my experience getting batteries for the Game Boy was so bad, and like fighting about batteries for this Game Boy were so bad that I ignored. We're definitely gonna watch this.
Wait, finish your story.
We're gonna watch that as a group.
What is that?
I'm guessing it's a video of Penguin Wars. So, basically, I was so frustrated with trying to find batteries for this thing that I never bothered to look at the other handheld systems. And when my parents finally bought me, I remember Nana bought me a DS Lite, I was ecstatic, but I couldn't figure out where to put the batteries because I assumed that it was still battery powered. I didn't realize that you could charge it. So I was like really nervous, like, oh wow, I have this thing, but I'm not going to be able to afford the batteries for it. And even Jenna was like, dude, you just plug it in. Like, what's wrong with you? And I had just completely written off Nintendo handhelds. I don't know, did the Game Boy Advance even use batteries? I don't know. We'll have to look that up. Yeah, I mean, Jeff Walker talking about you got 6 to 8 hours of playtime. 6 to 8 hours of playtime on 4 AA batteries. Which means 4 AA batteries back then was not cheap.
That's not even like that's more better than a Wiimote. And Wiimotes are like weird.
Exactly.
And
So
Wiimotes they need more than like.
So my parents very quickly got frustrated with the amount of batteries that me and your brother went through. So
Uncle, his uncle.
your uncle, my brother.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean that's my first memory is, you know, just the two of us battling it out in Tetris. We never really got into Pokemon on the Game Boy. Eventually as an adult. Jeff Walker confirming the answer. The GBA used 2 AA's.
That's the same.
Also not backlit. I'm sure that the no backlighting was because of the batteries. So
4 maybe could have been backlit.
But maybe, I don't know. So all right, so let's look at Nicole's little. Let's see here. I'm gonna grab this link. Yes.
Did you win again?
No.
What is it?
Part of the interruption for some Fortnite information.
No, it's not Fortnite information. It's information like someone else is using the account.
Did you get hacked? Again? Is this the second time we got hacked in Fortnite?
It just kicked me when I was like looking at an email.
Restart it. Restart the thing. That is kind of concerning. So bear with me, everybody. And then try and log back in. So I'll work on some of this while we are going. So I copied the thing.
No, I need to like put it in the.
Whoa. Okay, so we're going to pause this. So bear with me, everybody, while we deal with this problem.
It's not letting me. Sorry about
Apparently it's saying I am in the lobby.
Wait, hold on. Did it finally load on that thing?
No.
Jake, you need to switch, please.
Oh. It's logged in.
Please, Jacob, go away. Wait, we're doing a different thing.
No, but I have to figure this out. So please pardon the interruption, everybody. So we're going to go to... No, you know what? That's not the right account. That's the PlayStation.
Yeah, that's a PlayStation.
Alright,
Everybody be okay. We're...
It's fine.
Jake, give me the switch, please.
Yeah, try it again, Jake.
Jake, give me the switch, please.
Okay, so let's get out of that. Okay, so we've got somebody else on the case. So let's go and look at Penguin Wars, shall we? Because I'm really curious as to what the heck Nicole is talking about.
It's working now. Thank you for fixing it.
Okay. Here we go. So this is Penguin Wars. I mean, sure. Maybe a cow.
In a game called Penguin.
Why not?
It's super cute!
What the heck?
This looks fun.
You're playing dodgeball? There's dodgeball?
Can we get a Game Boy and get Penguin Wars?
Yeah, Eric, while we're doing this, Eric talking about parents switching to rechargeable batteries. We did the exact same thing.
Can we get a Game Boy and get this?
I don't even know what you're trying to do.
Then take
Okay,
the
so
other
you're trying.
one.
No, you're trying to get all the balls onto the other side.
Oh,
This is
clean up your
intense.
room. That's what it is.
Yes, it is, Jacob.
Wow, this is intense. All right, we're gonna take a second. Yeah, Todd rolling in. I gotta buy this. This is next level stuff. Yeah, Eric, let me tell you I'm 100% with Eric. The rechargeable batteries back in the early 90s, they came with this charging thing that was like a shoe box, and you put batteries in. And I swear, Eric, tell me, like, it used to take like a day and a half to recharge the batteries, and every time you charged it, they were like half as effective. So I would put in some fresh batteries for the Game Boy, which, by the way, having a pack of fresh batteries for your Game Boy was just fire. There was just not much better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
was pretty lit.
I'm so mad at you. I'm so mad at you. But there really wasn't much else. Man, let's just look at some more of this gameplay right here. This is like an e-sport. So this is what you're trying to do. You're trying to get all your balls over to the other side.
It's called clean up your room.
It really is just, it's exactly what it is, guys. It's basically the next e-sport in our house. So, yeah, I'm with Todd. That's a great game. That's a great looking game. So those are kind of some of my Game Boy memories. I'm gonna go look on Polygon.com. They have a list of the 30 best Game Boy games. I figured we would kind of go through the list and kind of go down memory lane a little bit. Please keep throwing your memories into the chat. I'd love to hear what you guys say. You get extra points for hitting the opponent. All right, that game does look kind of cute. You want to go see some crazy games? Here we go. On to Polygon.com. I would recommend everybody take a look at this and, go give them the click, because I'm clearly kind of going through their article. I give them the click. Shout out to @GameSpite, Jeremy Parrish, who did a bunch of work on this. So let's just scroll down. Number 30 is X, which is crazy because it's one of the first games to use like this wireframe 3D, like this is like a 3D shooter.
Is it like the prototype for Star Fox?
Kinda. It's the same people who made Star Fox, but this is, certainly it's not as pretty, but it is, it really was kind of like a proof of concept in a lot of ways. So that is X. Next is Trip World, which is something I have never heard, but the, what is essentially is like an Oregon Trail. Like, you go through the world and you're just taking a trip. Never played it. Game Boy Wars, which is it basically was the precursor to Advance Wars, but it was released on the Famicom and then the Game Boy. The Sword of Hope, which is a super hardcore role-playing game. And this is something that I talked about, and Eric talking about, it was the first electronic that was ever taken away for not listening to mom or dad. Shout out to that. That is the truth. Before that, you didn't really have anything that was like that important, but man, the Game Boy was a big deal. I always preferred to play slower games on my handhelds. I still do. Like role-playing games, something about playing a role-playing game on the DS or the 3DS or even on the handheld mode on the Switch. That's why I think why so many people are really excited for like Persona 5, obviously not a kid game, to come to the Switch. Because it hasn't yet, but it might. If they want to make $1 billion. That's why we're getting Dragon Quest XI Echoes of Elusive Age on Switch this fall, as opposed to buying it for PS4. Because there's just something about playing a handheld RPG It's just
So you're gonna get Final
special.
Fantasy 10?
What?
Are you gonna get Final Fantasy 10?
It's complicated. The only reason I don't own Final Fantasy X right now is because I want to play the other Final Fantasy games that are coming to the Switch first. And I have a review that I have to work on, that I'm going to work on as soon as we're done with this video. The embargo is Tuesday.
You can talk about it?
I can talk about it on Tuesday. I cannot talk about it now. And neither can you. Or we get in big trouble.
Didn't
So,
IGN talk about it?
they're different.
Oh.
So, The Sword of Hope, another RPG hardcore role-playing game. I've never heard of Chalvo 55. This is one of those, like, the guy who ran this list knows his stuff. So, next one is Avenging Spirit, which doesn't even come with a screenshot. But it's only $2.99 on the 3DS Virtual Console. So apparently we're supposed to take a look at it. Basically, you play as a ghost, and you jump into enemies. So you, like, possess them.
So Kirby.
Kinda, but probably a little creepier. How about a Harvest Moon game for the Game Boy?
Harvest Moon.
You know what Harvest Moon is?
I know Harvest Moon is. It's Stardew Valley.
No.
I'm joking, but I know I know what Harvest Moon is.
Whew. Somebody was gonna lose their darn minds. You're gonna get us killed. Hey, Maggie. Maggie.
They're playing Snipper Clips.
They're playing Snipper Clips,
She's yelling at me about a game.
and Maggie's yelling. Hey, we're doing a video over here.
Shush, shush.
We're doing a video over here. They're playing Snipper Clips. It's adorable. They're playing Snipper Clips together with the game in, because they can't use the television. Yeah, Nicole corrected you. Other way around. Yeah. Harvest Moon is the progenitor. Like, it came first.
Wait, is Game Boy spelled the game and then B-O-I?
No, B-O-Y. Thank you.
It's the OG game.
So,
Why not the Game Girl?
Yeah.
because it was made in 1990 or in 1989.
I think Nintendo should remake that. I think Nintendo should fix that.
We don't make jokes about that stuff.
I'm not making.
So, Harvest Moon, that could also be why they don't want to call it a Game Boy anymore. I don't know. So, they made a Harvest Moon game on the Game Boy. Obviously, super simple comparatively. I wonder why they haven't really put that up. Are you guys going to keep playing?
Play Kirby.
It's crazy.
Is she just forcing you? Next,
No,
this is
she's
a big...
snipping her.
All right, so this is a big one. Kid Dracula is a spin-off of Castlevania that is meant to be goofy because you play as a little kid version of Dracula. Now, what's important about this one, we should stream this. What's cool about Kid Dracula is this game is actually being included in the Castlevania collection that is coming to Switch next month. And I think it's actually worth it because you play as like a cute little, chibi version of Dracula and you shoot fireballs at very cartoonish monsters. So, how about little Space Invaders on your Game Boy?
Meh.
You don't like Space Invaders?
I know Space Invaders, but like,
You don't like Space Invaders?
I like it, but it's kind of boring. I know what it is, but it's kind of boring.
Know your classics.
But like, I thought the Game Boy was only green.
That's the Nintendo version, I think. I think this is the Nintendo version. You can also, one of the things that happens with Game Boy games is there was the Super Game Boy, which is a cartridge that you would put into a Super NES, and some of the Game Boy games ended up getting upgraded.
Could have been Pokemon.
I don't remember. I don't know, anybody that's watching, if you know,
but
could you...
Metroid.
Okay, so next we have Metroid 2, Return of Samus. This is a legitimate sequel. In fact, they later remade this on the 3DS. Maggie, we're working over here. We're working over here. Because we're working over here. Hey, we're working over here.
Then
All right,
we should
so
play it.
this was remade on the 3DS, and it's a strictly superior version, but it's super crazy that they made a full-on sequel, and this is where a lot of the story comes from. Nicole, which, Metroid or Space Invaders? I'm guessing you mean Metroid 2. My issue really comes down to that it was. I think it was probably just naturally harder because the Game Boy was just so. For me, the Game Boy was not good for action games. I really struggled with those. Next, Mole Mania, which was done by Shigeru Miyamoto's team. Let's see here.
So must be good.
So apparently it is a box pushing game.
I remember that game.
Mole Mania?
Yes.
So tell us about Mole Mania.
I don't remember. I just remember you were like a little thing. You have to push things around the screen like a maze thing. I remember that.
You pushed a thing around the screen like a maze thing?
Yes.
There you have it, folks. Let's just put it on the box. Hold on. Let's just do it. Where's the...
Dude, I remember it. You can laugh at me all you want. I remember that game. I didn't own a Game Boy. But I remember that.
Guys, we're putting this right on the box. This is a box quote if ever you've seen one. You push the thing around the screen like a maze thing.
No, I think you were a little thing there. Push the thing around the screen
Whoa.
like a maze. Don't make
Okay,
fun
no,
of me.
search it up.
Mole Mania.
Search it up and see if she's actually right.
Yeah, all right, let's go to the YouTube, because we got to look it up.
I remember that game.
Okay, Game Boy Mole Mania. I'm not making fun of you at all.
You can make fun of me all you want. You were like a little thingy, and you pushed a little thing around the screen.
Here we go. We're going to do it without sound in case this particular YouTuber is insane. But here we go, folks. Mole Mania. Oh, this is probably the super version. We're going to have to, Jeff. We're going to have to review Mole Mania. And that's absolutely going on the box art. You push the thing around the screen. All right, we'll move this out of the way.
Don't be a jerk to me.
Like a maze thing.
I don't
It
understand.
was cute.
Okay, this is actually really cute.
I remember this game.
I don't think you're pushing anything around the screen.
You totally push a thing around the screen.
No, you're just walking.
Well,
around the screen.
let's wait. We've got time. This is only like the first or second level. But this is definitely a speed run. Oh, you do push things. Oh, oop. Oh, and you can throw things? I like it. This is pretty impressive, actually.
You're a jerk.
I mean, you are pushing a thing around the screen,
Oh.
like in a maze thing.
Oh, you kicked it. There's a dinosaur?
I mean, you're pushing a thing around the screen.
This is definitely a speed run.
I mean, Mom,
Definitely
you're right.
Did not move this quickly when I remember playing it.
Mom, you were right.
Dude, I'm not
Oh, did you see the dance that the
stupid.
mole did?
Mom was right about something in video games.
So, alright, so here we go. That
Hey.
is...
Did you hear your son say,
What are
wow, Mom was right about something in video games?
The only thing that
Have
you've
you
ever
beat
done right.
Ocarina of Time yet?
It's the only thing you have done right.
Oh. What about Pokemon Moon?
I don't have that one.
2 games in a year I beat. That's like a world record. Oh, and who took over my Final Fantasy X save? Because theirs was trash.
Mom goes to bed by
This
the
guy!
Okay, how about we go back to doing the other thing?
Okay, let's go back to the other list. So, I closed out the other thing. WoW Wow, Mom being a jerk about the Final Fantasy. She keeps bringing up the Final Fantasy X thing.
Well, I mean, don't take her save.
We were at the point where the game was beaten and it was just grinding, and she's better at that than I am.
Yeah, so everybody who trash talks me in my video game play.
No, you.
Wow, you did great in a super linear RPG. Congrats.
Have you beat Breath of the Wild?
Don't give me
I
crap.
haven't even had a chance to play it. When do I ever get to play a video game
Okay,
in this house?
alright, hold on.
Whoa.
You had many chances.
This is not the airing of grievances. This is a celebration of the birthday of the Game Boy. This is not time for the Dudesmans to freaking battle it out.
That's why my kid needs to stop making fun of me.
Although everybody watching, welcome to, I guess, Sunday night, our excuse to battle it out. So, Castlevania 2, Belmont's Revenge. So, the,
Which one?
What?
Which Belmont?
Oh, I don't know which one.
Simon
This-
Belmont or Richter Belmont? They're both.
I think this is probably Simon. Oh, Nicole says shots fired. Absolutely true. Shots have been fired all over the place. I don't know which Simon you play in this game.
And by all over the
Which Simon you play in this
place,
game?
I'm dead.
Anyway, so next is Gargoyle's Quest.
All over the place.
Can I do my work?
No.
Yes.
All right. Next, Gargoyle's Quest. So this is kind of like Kid Dracula, according to them. I disagree, but in this case, you're actually playing as a bad guy.
Ghosts and
Specifically, yeah, exactly. So you play as this little demon guy.
And Ghosts and Goblins.
Yes. And they're so you're Firebrand, and you get more powerful. I mean, these games are hard. But they were super fun. They were on Game Boy. They were on NES. This is one of the ones that I'm a little... I don't know why no one has thought to bring this one back. Because I think Gargoyle's Quest is well-loved enough that, a new take on it, especially like in a hand-drawn style, like maybe like Way Forward, the folks that did Shantae, I think this would be a lot of fun. So, that's Gargoyle's Quest. This game came out when I was 10. Yeah. Pronounce that.
Hankyo Alien.
Okay. So,
Hankyo Alien.
Didn't you take Japanese?
Konnichiwa.
Yeah. But it's
all right. So this is a remake. So it's a remake of an arcade game. Don't really know what it is, but apparently, this is one of those. Just it's apparently it's good. I've never heard of it. Never played it.
I see Final
It's a
Fantasy.
remake of an arcade game. So now let's talk about Final Fantasy Adventure.
It looks like Zelda.
Great. So Final Fantasy Adventure is an action RPG, but has more role-playing game mechanics. So, and it includes Final Fantasy stuff like chocobos and the different spell conventions, and you have
So it's
like
Zelda.
so it's
Final
like
Fantasy.
Zelda cross Final Fantasy.
So like
so-
giving Cloud the Master Sword.
Not really, because Cloud didn't exist at this point. This is 1992. That was the late 90s when Cloud came out. But,
8 years. What's the difference?
so, there's plenty of difference. So, this is one of those, it was one of the first action RPGs. You obviously see that it looks like Zelda before Link's Awakening came out. Because Link's Awakening was like the real deal.
It'd be even better on Switch.
It's going to be better on Switch when it comes out. So next is Mega Man 5. Now, they brought a bunch of Mega Man games. Here's what's really interesting about the early Mega Man games. They actually were just Mega Man 2 and 3, but they only had 4 bosses each. They were like just half the size. So they were ports, but instead of 8 Robot Masters, there were 4.
Cool.
That's it.
It's pretty lame.
5 is different. 5 is one of those games that we should probably get on the 3DS Virtual Console, because you actually fight solar system bosses like Pluto, Jupiter. Jeff Walker saying it was like that Final Fantasy Adventure was like Secret of Mana.
I've never played that. You said you were gonna buy it on PlayStation.
We were gonna get it on
And they were
PS4,
gonna do like a thing with it, and like it was gonna be the two people.
and then it turns out that everybody that I talked to said that it wasn't that good.
I mean, okay.
We could still try it. We do have to film a bunch of videos, so of you and me playing games together. So maybe we will. So that's Mega Man 5. Bionic Commando. This is an NES to Game Boy, just a straight port. But what they did is they fixed it because you couldn't release NES games on the Game Boy because it wasn't as powerful, so they fixed it. Balloon Kid. You want to guess what this was based on?
Balloon
Without
Fight?
looking at it? Oh,
Balloon
it's Balloon Fight.
No, it was based off of Villagers Up Special in Super Smash Bros.
All right, I'm going to move on. Game Boy Gallery.
What, did it make you mad?
So this is more or less
Did it make you mad?
the Game Boy Gallery is a collection of Game & Watch games. Now, Super Mario Land is Super Mario Brothers on Game Boy.
And you rescue Pauline.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, one of them you rescue
Fun
Pauline.
fact, high five.
I mean, in one of them you rescue Pauline.
So these are not very pretty
No,
games.
Daisy. Daisy.
You
Wrong
rescue-
person.
is that where you get Daisy from?
Yeah.
So
Wrong
like
one, but-
apparently in some of the stages you can fly a biplane. This is where they started experimenting a little bit. And I really do think some of the creativity in future Super Mario games,
Odyssey.
like Odyssey and Super Mario World
And Galaxy.
and Galaxy, a lot of that comes from Super Mario Land, where it really kind of pushed the limits. Nicole says Daisy.
Yeah, I said that. I corrected myself.
All right. So Nicole knows.
I learned it on
Consummate
Game Theory.
professional.
I learned it on Game Theory.
Fair enough. So next is Picross. Picross is one of those games
It's a-
that is a puzzle for, and we know Jeff, our community manager, loves him some Picross. You know who would love Picross?
Who? Not me.
Your mom would love Picross. We haven't played it, but your mom loves like puzzle kind of games. You're building pictures by filling in blocks based
Did I
on
tap them?
more or less. Now this is Picross is one of those games that if we got it and put like the new Picross on our Switch, your mother would never let you use it again because she would love it.
Well, then I want, but then I can't play other games, so we can't get Picross.
But, I mean, we probably should, and just so your mom can have some games to play.
But she has Tetris 99.
Tetris 99 is not relaxing. Tetris 99 is painful.
Does it matter?
Nicole, oh, there
It's
we go.
better
Nicole,
than
Nicole is full on supporting the Picross. And Jeff, 30 hours into the first Picross on Switch. That's how dedicated our community manager is. He wants to put real time into this. So next is the Kirby's Dream Land series. Kirby started as a Game Boy game.
The baby game. The baby game. It was made as the baby's baby game.
It is a baby game.
It's the babies of the baby's games.
And now Kirby, I mean Maggie, is Kirby or is Kirby not one of your favorite games?
It's one of my favorite games because I'm playing it right now.
Show everybody.
Baby.
Oh, they can't see it. What level are you
I'll
in?
fix it.
I'm in the first level.
Oh my god.
Babies.
You're in the first level? Alright, go play the baby game.
Go play the baby
It's
game.
not a baby game.
I
It
mean,
is not a baby game. You know what it is? It's beautiful, it's cute, and it's accessible. I
maybe
love
we've been doing
Kirby.
this for 43 minutes.
And also it's fun.
Whatever, we're celebrating the Game Boy.
We are.
And also it's fun.
Next is Final Fantasy Legend. Now here's the Final Fantasy Legend. This is one of my jams. I only owned one of these, and I later lost it.
How about we scroll up so we don't spoil it?
Oh, so you don't want to spoil the next one? So, the Final Fantasy Legend series is, they are true role-playing games.
Yeah.
Don't read this. How about this? It's a
You-
game
You
where...
can use the chainsaw to kill God.
Yeah. You can use a chainsaw to kill God. It's true. How about you can play this game? You start with 4... The sky is very pretty because it's sundown. You start, and essentially what you can do is you find monster meat, and you can feed the monster meat to your characters, and you can turn them into monsters, or you can feed them robot parts and they turn into cyborgs. And the more the more monster meat you feed them, the more monsters they turn into, and the more robot parts. Yeah, that's how you build the characters. It's super cool. Lots of weird. That's where it just got weird. You know,
That's where Japan.
yes. I don't know why they haven't revisited that particular tactic.
Because it's odd.
Facts. Next. I have no idea why this is only number 6. I'm about to get upset, but I'll deal with it. Tetris.
Bulletproof software.
I mean, that's who made it. Tetris, number 6, according to them. This is the game on the... I bet a third of the Game Boys that were purchased back in, between 1989 and now have only Tetris. They never bought another game.
I mean, that must be a good game.
Tetris is one of the perfect games, as far as I am concerned.
Yeah, Tetris 99 is the best battle royale.
Let's not talk about Tetris 99. It is possibly my game of the year, although I think that some things might be unseating it.
It makes you too stressed out.
It does stress me out, though. Next, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. How about this? A Legend of Zelda game where you can jump. A 2D top-down Legend of Zelda game where you can jump.
Before this version of the game where you can jump before Breath of the Wild, where there's a jump button.
Yeah. So here we are. It's Legend of Zelda Link's the Past. There's Goombas in here.
Well, yeah.
Like, there's side-scrolling sections. This is coming to the Nintendo Switch in a remake this year.
And it looks...
I cannot wait. I would like to say it looks dope. Can I say dope?
You're too old.
No, because they doped me.
Too old.
Other
It
than
looks like
dopamine?
dope. It looks like you can say. It looks like it will
He
give
said dope
dopamine.
in Shazam, but it was a 14-year-old boy being a...
Am I mean, what's the...
you
Can we
could
start...
say-
Let's start a poll. Can I start a poll?
No,
Does this
not right
tool
now.
give me polls? Yeah, so Jeff talking about
What
remakes.
balls about Shazam?
I think
I
that
want to
it's-
know whether or not I can say dope or not.
No, you could say dopamine. I think it'll give you
can't say
massive
dope,
amounts
you're too
of
old.
dopamine.
All right, I'm too old. So next,
Yeah.
Wario Land. Okay, so here's the real deal.
Farts.
Wario
Farts.
is garbage, just like Luigi, just like Waluigi.
No, Waluigi's not trash.
Garbage. But
It's not garbage.
the
Waluigi's
Wario
the
Land
best.
series on Game
Waluigi's
Boy.
the best.
Okay, the Wario Land series on Game Boy is one of the reasons why. Is one of the reasons why Wario is such a big deal. It's so good. Pokemon. How this is number 3? I don't know. The Pokemon series. It came out in 1998, almost 10 years after the Game Boy was a thing. But
The best.
huge.
Game Boy boy.
Waluigi is not a human. He is a cartoon character, Jeffrey. Also, how dare you? You're supposed to take my side? Because
Waluigi is not trash.
Waluigi is not a human, correct? Waluigi is a video game character.
He's not a human.
Waluigi is human.
Jeffrey, how dare you? I'm your boss, so you're supposed to be on my side.
Waluigi's not trash.
Pokemon just took over the world.
Pokemon.
Just like Paul said, or Todd rather, said earlier on in the chat. He said that it's like once Pokemon came out, everything was different. I agree. I think you really can look at the world like before Pokemon and after.
But no, look. Until the Pokemon came out, and then everything was different. Like the Avatar thing.
Yes.
Do it. I can't do it right because I don't know it right. But
Until Pokemon came out, and then everything changed. Next is the Game Boy camera. Did you
What?
know that there was a camera for the Game Boy?
no.
That's cringy.
So it was an attachment. You plugged it like into the top of your Game Boy, and you could take pictures with it. I mean, I'm not even joking.
Donkey Kong.
And then lastly, Donkey Kong.
Well, they're wrong.
So,
They're wrong.
basically, here's the thing. Donkey Kong 94, which is what this is referred to, is not a remake of the original game. It's actually just a new version. Like, they reimagined the game. And it has a whole bunch of different levels and stages, whereas Donkey Kong was just kind of screens. So I can kind of understand, because this takes Donkey Kong, which is one of the best games ever made, and kind of reinvigorates it. So, so here we... Donkey Kong Country is a different game. So anyway, so that is our little celebration. Everybody who's watching, please head on over to this Polygon article here. I did go through it. Please head in, leave some comments, and read the article. Give them the click. Thank you very much for putting that together. So yeah, that's our celebration. Oh, you want to say it? So we're done.
And don't forget to get your family game on.
But it's not time for the buzz. It's not time for the catchphrase yet.
Failed.
Epic fail. Let me do my closing. I'll have you come back. So that's your homework. Go look at the article. At the very least, give them the click or two. Leave a comment. I don't know if they made a YouTube version. Maybe they did. Look at that too. We are, and while we're at it, yeah, thank you very much. Happy Easter for those who celebrate. Happy all the other holidays over the weekend. So you guys have a great night. I will be back this week. We have a new podcast episode. We got an EFG show on Wednesday. There's just so much stuff going on. But all of that said, Maggie, quick.
I can go back and say it.
No, I want to play Kirby.
You guys have a wonderful night. We will see you this week on all of our various Engaged Family Gaming content, including next Sunday, returning for the EFG Sunday Night Unboxing. And Maggie, what are we going to remind them? Don't forget.
And don't forget to get your family game on.
All right, we'll see you guys later. Bye. Don't push the buttons. Do not push the buttons.
Don't push the red button.
You are